From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now at 4:30, as COVID-19 cases continue to surge, Indiana officials are making changes to how they are tracked, what they are doing to streamline contact tracing. A local healthcare worker's message is being heard across the nation, what she wants Hoosiers to understand about COVID-19. And the pandemic can't stop the Mouse King and Sugar Plum Fairy, how the Indianapolis Ballet is adapting the Nutcracker and continuing the Christmas tradition. Thanks so much for starting your morning with us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin in for Lauren Casey. Meteorologist Kyle Mounds joins us this morning for Todd Clausen and Kyle. As you're heading out the door, you're going to want to make sure to get the scarf, I think, the gloves, the heavy coat. It's pretty chilly out there this morning.
Yeah, you're certainly going to need to layer up. The good news is you shouldn't need to scrape off any frost or anything like that, Nicole, if you do park outdoors. We don't have any of that this morning. Beautiful shot, though, here of the Circle City with those lights as we get our Thursday going here. We've got temperatures that are down in the 20s, 27 degrees in Indianapolis. We've had a few more clouds rolling in. It's 25 in Lafayette and 24 in Bloomington. Winds are fairly calm, so that means we're not dealing with much of a wind chill, and temperatures, they're heading in the right direction. Yeah, it's cold out there, but at least numbers are running about 5 degrees warmer than they were this time yesterday. Look at the big picture and back to the west. That's where we've got a storm system bringing some snow. Portions of Kansas and Oklahoma. That system will stay off to our south and west today. We'll just increase the clouds and temperatures this afternoon, Nicole, in the middle 40s.
All right, Kyle, thank you. I-65 at St. Clair Street. This is a live look right now in the downtown area at this hour. We can report no accidents or delays to report, but we will keep you updated on traffic all morning long here throughout Good Morning Indiana. As health officials express concern for a post-Thanksgiving surge of COVID-19, Indiana leaders are making changes to their contact tracing system. In the governor's weekly update, State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Bach said the increased cases have put more pressure on contact tracers. Now officials want to help streamline the process by only notifying people who tested positive for the virus, rather than also contacting those who were also exposed. Instead, they are instructing those infected people to notify people who they may have close contact with.
We will also emphasize the definition of a close contact and provide related quarantine guidance for those close contacts. The contact tracers will strongly encourage the positive individual to notify all of their close contacts. Remember, a close contact is a person who has been within 6 feet of you for 15 minutes or more throughout the course of a day. That includes a person who shares your household or a coworker if you are within that 6-foot space for 15 minutes or more. If you fall within that description, you're a close contact and will need to quarantine, even if you are wearing a mask.
Dr. Bach says the changes will speed up the process and ensure that people who have been exposed will take immediate steps to prevent further spread of the disease. Here's a look at Indiana's latest numbers. The State Department of Health reporting 6,655 new cases of COVID-19. That brings Indiana to more than 350,000 total cases. The state also sees another alarming number of new deaths. 91 more Hoosiers have died with the virus. 5,688 have died since the pandemic began. Dr. Bach says the impact from Thanksgiving gatherings is still to come. In a report from the White House Coronavirus Task Force, Indiana's situation with the virus is critical. The report was obtained by ABC News. It recommends that anyone under the age of 40 who traveled outside of their home for Thanksgiving should assume they have been infected. Those 65 and older or individuals with underlying health conditions should not be in indoor places where people are not wearing masks. They should also have things like groceries and prescriptions delivered when possible. The task force is also recommending that the state issue more restrictions on things like indoor dining. Local health care workers continue to share their message in an effort to reach people who do not think COVID-19 will impact them or do not seem to care how it impacts others.
We're all very tired. I'm very tired. And I feel that this time around is a little bit different in the public's eye somewhat. Not that they've forgotten about us, it's just that it's been going on so long now. It's just another day to a lot of people, but we've been living this since March, and there has not been a day that went by that we haven't taken care of COVID patients.
Jody White is a respiratory therapist at IU Health. ABC News posted her video diary online. Jody also shared her experiences with WRTV last month. 9 months into the pandemic, she is begging others to take the virus seriously.
I want to get this message out that this is real. People need to understand that we are tired and frustrated, and we get angry when we are out places and people are not complying with what we are as a public are asked to do, is just to wear a mask. And I think that people, I don't know if they just don't think they're going to be affected by it, but it just takes one person and it is a complete snowball effect, and that whole entire party is infected.
The coronavirus warnings are getting more urgent as cases explode across the country. Yesterday, the U.S. set a pair of new grim records. More than 100,000 Americans in hospitals for COVID-19 symptoms and the second highest death toll ever. ABC's Faith Abube has the very latest.
The latest metrics for the coronavirus in the U.S. all pointing the wrong way this morning. New infections of COVID-19 at an all-time high. Hospitalizations and the death toll reaching levels this country hasn't seen since April. The CDC now warning 200,000 more Americans could die from the virus within the next 3 months.
December and January and February are going to be rough times. I actually believe they're going to be the most difficult time in the public health history of this nation.
The potential impact on an already taxed healthcare system worrying officials coast to coast. ICUs near capacity in New Mexico, North Dakota, and Rhode Island. Some hospitals in New York and Virginia suspending elective surgeries as COVID symptoms send a record 100,000 Americans to hospitals across the country.
We're very concerned at the number of cases that were present today, and I don't even think that represents the Thanksgiving holiday.
The White House task force saying America is in a dangerous place, adding those 65 and older should not enter any indoor public areas where anyone is unmasked.
Is a very risky situation.
The grim development coinciding with hopeful news on the vaccine front. Health officials in the UK authorizing the world's first COVID-19 vaccine. The U.S. not far behind. Officials expecting the Pfizer vaccine to be available here starting December 15th.
It's just making sure that we have everything locked so when EUA decision comes, distribution to the American people becomes immediate within 24 hours.
And also, Dr. Anthony Fauci says the U.S. could be close to normal by next summer if at least 70% of the American population gets vaccinated. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Faith, thank you. An annual holiday performance will look much different this year due to the pandemic, but the show will go on. Starting next week, the Indianapolis Ballet will perform Nutcracker Suites, a condensed version of the Nutcracker.
It's not anywhere the complete production that we do in a very large theater with a full orchestra. There was absolutely no way that we can do it safely. And certainly not under the current guidelines. We are performing in some beautiful costumes, fully masked.
Well, earlier this week, the city announced dozens of grants for performing arts organizations. The Indianapolis Ballet received around $15,000. The money is from the Federal CARES Act.
This CARES Act funding is so important to us because it's really our survival. If we don't have ticket revenue coming in, and especially now where everything is reduced down to 25%, if we don't have individual and corporate sponsors behind us and the generous foundations in the community, there is no way that we as an organization can survive, or pretty much any other organization.
The Nutcracker Suites opens next Friday, December 11th at the Toby at Newfields. For more information, just go to indyballet.org. An Indianapolis plumber's license is being taken away following a WRTV investigation. Coming up, why a state panel is saying this is one of the worst cases they've ever seen. And another mystery metal pillar has popped up in the U.S. Its latest location and what some believe is behind this bizarre phenomenon. Kyle.
And as kids head off to the bus stop, gonna need to layer up, but at least we've got some dry conditions. Temperatures in the 20s this morning, 45 as they're heading back home. Coming up, we'll talk about some temperature changes for the upcoming weekend. You're watching WRTV. Good morning, Indiana.
A state panel has taken formal disciplinary action against an Indianapolis plumber accused of taking customers' money and not doing the work. WRTV Investigates has been digging into Jonathan Kirby's business practices for more than a year. WRTV's Kara Kenny explains why the state is calling it one of the most severe penalties they've seen.
WRTV first told you about Jonathan Kirby back in May 2019. Customer after customer say they paid him to do work on their home, but he either didn't do the work or only did half the job and failed to provide refunds. Morgan Gowdy found him on Nextdoor, where he used the name John Michael and claimed to be licensed.
He seemed honest. He really did. He was charismatic, outgoing.
Morgan hired Kirby to fix a leaky pipe.
And then that's when the problem started. He tried fixing that one pipe and he said it was fixed and it was working fine. But the next day we noticed that both the pipe that he had fixed before and the pipe that he had fixed the day previously, they were both leaking now.
The Attorney General filed this formal complaint against Kirby, alleging 8 counts of fraud, deception, misconduct, and violations of Indiana law. Wednesday morning, the Indiana Plumbing Commission met virtually.
Mr. Kirby seems or is not present, nor does he have representation.
The commission heard evidence that Kirby defrauded at least 4 consumers.
The state is here to protect the public from these exact type of acts that the respondent has engaged in. We presented you with evidence from 4 different individuals through testimony in the various exhibits who all suffered a financial loss due to respondent using his professional license to his benefit to engage in material deception.
They voted unanimously to find Kirby guilty on all 8 counts. They revoked his plumbing license, fined Kirby $8,000, and ordered him to pay restitution to consumers. Commission member and plumber William Cirillo called it one of the worst cases he's ever seen.
I would think this is probably the most severe penalty I've seen at a commission meeting, and I've been on the commission a long time. But
working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
Kara, thank you. We've reached out to Kirby for a response, and he told us via email he is working to pay people back and recently paid a few of them. He can't apply for another plumbing license in Indiana for 7 years. The pandemic has encouraged more people to adopt pets, but the Better Business Bureau is warning about puppy scams. The BBB scam tracker noted a spike in pet fraud reports starting in April, and it's only continued. Investigators say it usually happens when people search online for a new pet and end up going to an illegitimate site. Many people lost around $750 to these scams. PetScams.com recommends using video calls to meet the animal and its owner virtually before dishing out any money. Another mysterious metal pillar spotted in the U.S. This monolith was located at a California park hiking trail. It is similar to other strange objects spotted around the world recently, including one in the remote part of Utah. That one was found by a helicopter, but when hikers went to look for it, it was gone. The same thing happened in Romania. The phenomenon has gotten a lot of attention on the internet, and some people think it's an artist behind the monolith. For now, observers say they will wait and see if the newest monument will stay in its place or vanish like the rest. In hiring Hoosiers, the Indiana Department of Transportation is still hiring for the season as it starts to feel more like winter outside. A job fair will be held today from 9 to 3 at the INDOT facility on Brookville Road near Shadeland. Applicants should be able to pass a drug screen and background check, bring a valid CDL and a current Department of Transportation physical if possible. For more information, just go to hiringhoosiers.com. Kyle.
And we're not going to need the snow plows anytime soon as far as shoveling that snow away, but certainly maybe treating a little bit of that asphalt out there as we do have some colder temperatures. It's 27 degrees right now in Indy, 24 in Bloomington, and 25 degrees in Lafayette. Our temperatures today are going to climb into the 40s here already for your lunch hour and into the middle 40s for that afternoon high. So that's about where we should be for this time of year. And then as we get into the evening, of course, once that sun sets, the temperatures drop off pretty quickly. Here's a look at Truecast today, and the biggest weather change for us is going to be an increase in the clouds, but we're not going to see any precipitation from those, just kind of filtering out the sunshine as we go throughout the day. I still think we'll see some bright skies here and there, but more clouds than anything else. A little more sunshine for you, though, around Lafayette, Logansport, Kokomo, Peru, and Marion, Indiana. You won't be seeing quite the thick clouds that we will to the south. Temperature-wise, 46 for you in Frankfort, 47 in Lafayette, so a little more sunshine, a couple degrees warmer. You'll get into the lower 40s around Anderson and Muncie this afternoon, about 45 in the Indy area, 43 in Connorsville, and we'll find those temperatures that get to around 46 degrees in Sullivan and Bloomington, 47 today in Columbus. So not going to feel too bad, but again, with the clouds, may not feel quite as warm as what it could be. Then on Friday, we're going to round out the week here with some more seasonable weather. Temperature of 46, partly sunny skies for us there, and it really looks like we are in for a pretty dry stretch of weather. There will be a couple of weather systems that brush by the area as we go into the upcoming weekend. Not really expecting precipitation from those, but what it will do is kind of reinforce the chill we've got out there. There's some mild air off to the south and west. We're not going to really get into that. The cool air will turn chilly here as we go into Saturday and Sunday, as we knock off about 5 degrees or so from those afternoon highs. That'll put us at 40 degrees for you on Saturday, upper 30s on Sunday. Again, we'll see partly sunny skies, a little bit of sunshine with some cloud cover out there. But again, I don't think we'll see any precipitation out of those weather systems. Look at your 7-day planning forecast, and we get more of the same. Weather really kind of on cruise control here, as we'll have those high temperatures in the 40s to upper 30s as we get into early next week, with a mix of sun and clouds throughout, but really don't see any precipitation coming our way into the middle of next week. Those lows, of course, are going to be chilly there in the morning as we get started here in early December. Most mornings in the 20s. Nicole?
All right, Kyle, thank you. Let's take a live look outside at traffic this morning. This is I-465 west of Emerson Avenue. There on the southeast side, you can see traffic is moving up to speed. No accidents or delays so far this morning on the interstates. This Sunday, players across the NFL will wear custom cleats to raise money for charities they are passionate about. Many members of the Colts will also participate in this year's My Cause, My Cleats campaign. Here's a look at a few. Tight end Jack Doyle will wear these for Riley Hospital. T.Y. Hilton's are for the Boys and Girls Club of Zionsville. And Darius Leonard's kicks will support the Lupus Foundation of America and honor his sister who is living with the disease. Many of the cleats will be auctioned off to raise money for the organization. The Colts will wear theirs in Sunday's game against Houston. Legendary former Notre Dame football coach Lou Holtz will receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom today. The White House says the nation's highest civilian honor will be awarded to him by President Trump. In addition to an incredible coaching career, he also started a foundation to help underprivileged students at Notre Dame. Holtz is known to be a Trump supporter, endorsing him early in 2016. In a statement, the White House praised Holtz as a great coach, philanthropist, author, and patriot. It is beginning to look a lot like Christmas across the U.S. In D.C., the Capitol Christmas tree was officially lit last night. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was there to lead the official countdown. The 55-foot tree was harvested in November from a national forest in Colorado. All of the decorations are from there as well, with thousands handcrafted by kids. And in New York City, the Rockefeller Center tree lights are officially up as well. 50,000 lights on the tree were turned on without the usual crowd in attendance. And starting today, the 75-foot Norway spruce will stay lit from morning until midnight every day through the new year. If your home is decked out for the holidays, we want to see it. Share a picture of your light display for a chance to win tickets to the Christmas Nights of Lights show at the Indiana Fairgrounds. The contest ends on December 6th. For more information, just go to WRTV.com and click on the contest tab. If there was a movie about your life, who would you pick to play you? After the break, former President Obama is revealing his answer, and it might surprise you. And local hospitals say they are now facing a shortage in staffing. Coming up at 5 o'clock, how the growing number of COVID-19 cases is impacting those on the front lines. It's 4:52. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us. Former President Barack Obama is weighing in on who he'd like to be the star in a movie about himself. He says he'd want it to be Drake. The rapper has wanted to play the former president for at least a decade now, saying he can do a pretty good impression of him. In an interview last week, Obama said he'd be good with that, calling Drake a talented brother. More importantly, Obama said he thinks Drake would also have his daughter's stamp of approval. I'm a big Drake fan, Kyle. I think I would like this as well.
You'd like to see that movie, huh?
Yeah, I love Drake. One of my favorites.
All right, well, as we go through the forecast today, we're not doing too bad out there on the roads, and the weather isn't going to cause you any problems either. We'll give it the green light on the interstate systems for us. As far as the weather today, cold start with temperatures in the 20s. 45 will be our top number as those clouds return throughout the day, and that's a pretty standard forecast as we go through the next several days. Highs upper 30s to around 40 degrees. Stay with us, grab that cup of coffee, maybe get a donut or something to eat here on your Thursday morning. We'll be right back on Good Morning Indiana.